everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video is our September stitch of the month, and our stitch of the month is the Filet Squares crochet pattern stitch, and we're going to make a Filet Squares table runner. Now don't let filet crochet intimidate you. Now the word filet is a French word that means mesh or net, and that's where the word filet crochet comes from, because you use double crochets and chain one spaces usually, and other stitches can be used as well, but most of the time it's double crochet stitches and chain ones to form a mesh or net type pattern. Sometimes it will have words like someone's name, or patterns like diamonds, squares, hearts, or even intricate patterns of flowers and animals. Lots of different ways to do filet crochet. If you've never done a crochet filet stitch pattern, this is a great pattern to learn how to do filet crochet because it's called the block or squares filet crochet stitch pattern, and it's really easy. It's a repeat of 4 rows, and then we add our trim. You're really going to love it. Now if you would like to see the complete pattern with all the multiples and information on how to adjust the pattern, you can find that on my blog, and as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. To make our Filet Squares table runner, you're going to need some yarn. I'm going to be using Crafter's Secret, and you're going to need 2 balls or approximately 5 ounces, unless you decide to make yours a lot longer. Now the Crafter's Secret is 100% cotton. It is a Hobby Lobby brand, and the color is called Auburn Clay, and I think it's just beautiful. It has a lot of fall colors in there. The main color, of course, is like a rusty orange with dots of blues and yellows and different colors that make it really pretty and perfect. Now, you don't have to do this color, of course. You can make this particular table runner in any colors that you would like. I really suggest that you make it out of a cotton and that you use a medium weight number 4 cotton. And like I said, you're going to need about 5 ounces, which comes out to about 240 yards of cotton. We're going to be stitching today with our eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You'll also need a needle just for weaving in ends and your scissors. To make our table runner, we're going to need to chain 45 chains. We'll begin with our slip knot, and remember, we need to loosely chain these because we don't want the end of our table runner to be puckered up. So we'll begin with a loosely chained 45 chains. I have chained my 45 chains, and again, they're chained just a little bit loose. And we're going to begin by stitching a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So yarn over, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll go in that 4th chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. Now our chain 3 here counts as 1, and then we stitched a double crochet. Now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now that gives us 7 stitches because our chain 3 counts as our first, then we stitched another one, then we stitched 5 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. We're going to chain 1, skip the next chain, and double crochet in the next chain. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next chain. And we'll do this one more time. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next chain. And that formed 3 open or chain 1 spaces. So we have 1 double crochet here, and we're going to stitch 6 more double crochets, 1 in each of the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we're going to have 7 stitches because we have 1 here where we chained 1, skipped 1, and then we stitched 1 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now we're going to repeat what we did here. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next stitch. And we'll do that one more time. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next stitch. And I think you can see the pattern that we're sort of working on here. We have 7 double crochets, then we have 3 chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochets, and 3 chain 1 spaces. So we count this 1 double crochet, and then we stitch 6 more just like we did over here, 1 in each of the next 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We stitched 1, then we stitched 6 more. Now we're going to repeat what we did here. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and we'll do that 2 more times. So we have 3 chain 1 spaces. We stitched 1, and we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in those last 6 stitches. And we'll go ahead and chain 3, and then we'll take a look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because we stitched 1 and then we stitched 6 more. And so you can see how the repeat works. We've got 7 double crochets, 3 chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochets, 3 chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochets, 3 chain 1 spaces, and then we end with 7 double crochets. And that's the way that row 1 should look. We've chained 3, and we're going to turn our work. And now we're basically just going to repeat what we just did on row 1. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So we're going to double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, oops, there we go, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now we're going to chain 1. We'll skip the chain 1 and double crochet in the double crochet. And we'll do that twice. I should say 2 more times. So we have 3 chain 1 spaces. And then we'll double crochet in the next 7 stitches. There we go. All right, one more stitch, and then we'll take a look. And you can see we have our 7 double crochets, then we have our 3 chain 1 spaces all lined up with our previous chain 1 spaces. Then we stitch 7 double crochets, and then we'll repeat that across. Chain 1, skip the chain, double crochet in the double crochet. So we have 3 chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochets, the 3 chain 1 spaces, and end with 7 double crochets. So like I said, we're basically just repeating what we did on row 1. I completed row 2. I have 7 double crochets, the 3 chain 1 spaces, 7 double crochets, 3 chain 1 spaces, just like we did on row 1. It looks exactly the same. We have our 7 double crochets, then I chained 3. Now we're going to turn our work and we're going to repeat row 2 again, just like we did on the previous row. So we have our chain 3, we'll stitch 1 double crochet in the next 6, so we'll have 7 double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we'll repeat that. Chain 1, double crochet in the next double crochet, chain 1, some more yarn out there, and repeat this. So we have 3 chain 1 spaces, and then again 7 double crochets, 3 chain 1 spaces, and repeat across. So for row 3, we're just repeating row 2. So I have completed row 3, and you can see that my groups of 7 double crochets are all lined up, and my groups with 3 chain 1 spaces are all lined up. And this is how it should look after row 3. Now, for row 4, we're going to be doing the opposite of what we've been doing. I have chained 3. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to chain 1 more because our chain 3 or our chain 4 counts as a double crochet chain 1. We're going to skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next stitch. Chain 1, skip the next double crochet and double crochet in the next stitch. So we have those 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning of our row. Now we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 6. So here's 1, and we're going to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 6. So we'll go in the chain 1 space and stitch a double crochet. Then we'll stitch in the double crochet. We'll stitch in the chain 1 space. Then we'll stitch in the double crochet, and we'll stitch in the chain 1 space, and then stitch in the next double crochet. All right, so this was 1, and then we stitched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more. So we have 7 double crochets. All right, so here's our last chain 1 space, and then we double crocheted. Then we double crocheted in the chain 1 spaces and in those double crochets. So we have a total of 7 right there. Now we're going to chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next double crochet. So you can see we're alternating or doing the opposite of what we've been doing on these rows, to where our 3 chain 1 spaces are on top of where we did our 7 double crochets. All right, and that's how we get that alternating open work for our filet crochet. All right, so now we're going to repeat here what we did over here. We're going to double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in that double crochet, double crochet in the chain 1 space, double crochet in the double crochet, double crochet in the chain 1 space, and then double crochet in the next double crochet. And that's going to give us 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we'll repeat what we did here. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next. So we have those 3 chain 1 spaces. There's 1, and now we need to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And again, we're stitching in those chain 1 spaces and double crochets. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 double crochets. And we're going to end with our open work. So chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next. And so you can see for row 4, we've placed our 3 chain 1 spaces first, and then done our 7 double crochets, so that we end with 3 chain 1 spaces. So we're going to alternate how we do our open work. All right, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we'll chain 1 more, because we need a double crochet, chain 1 at the beginning of this row. Now we're going to double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the next stitch. And that gives us our 3 chain 1 spaces at the beginning of our row again. Now we'll stitch 6 more double crochets, so we'll have 7 there together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we'll repeat this again. Chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in that next double crochet. And see how that's working out? And we'll continue to repeat this across this row, stitching a group of 7 and a group of 3 chain 1 spaces. So basically for row 5, we're just repeating row 4. I have repeated that across so that my chain 1 spaces are lined up. Here's my last double crochet chain 1, and it's important to remember at the end that we don't want to join to the 4th chain but to the 3rd. And the reason that's important is because that previous row counted chain 4 and we need that chain 1 right there, okay? Just want to make sure so that it lays correctly. You need to join or do your double crochet in the 3rd chain, not the 4th where we started. All right, so we're going to chain 4 and turn. And for row 6, we're just going to repeat what we did for row 5. Double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the double crochet, chain 1, and then double crochet in the double crochet. So we have 3 rows where it's the same, just like we did down here. All right, and then we'll just repeat for row 6 what we did on row 5. And like I just said, we're going to repeat for row 6 what we did on row 5, making sure our chain 1 spaces are all lined up and we have those 7 double crochets in between, and then again end with our 3 chain 1 spaces. So this is the way that our table runner should look after our 6th row. You can see we have 3 rows with our 3 chain 1 spaces, and then 3 rows with our chain 1 spaces offset. Okay, so this row we just have 3 sets, and the next row we have 4 sets of our chain 1 spaces. All right, so we're going to do row 7. So we have our chain 3, and we need to stitch 1 double crochet in the next 6 stitches. So we'll go in our chain 1 space and stitch a double crochet. We'll go in the double crochet and stitch a double crochet. We'll go in the chain 1 space, then the next double crochet, then the chain 1 space, and 1 double crochet in the next. Okay, and so that will give us 7 stitches. Our chain 3 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more is 7. Now we're going to go back to this open mesh work. So we'll chain 1, skip the next, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next, double crochet in the next, chain 1, skip the next, and double crochet in the next. And so now we're back to having our 3 chain 1 spaces lined up with what's down here. So there's 1 double crochet, and we need to double crochet in the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And so we'll continue that across just like we did on these rows down here. I completed row 7. You can see we have our 7 double crochets at the beginning like we do down here, our 3 chain 1 spaces like we do here, 7, 3, 7, 3, and we end with our 7 just like we did down here. And what we're going to do for row 8 and row 9 is we're just going to repeat what we did on row 7. So repeat row 7 2 more times for row 8 and 9. So I have completed up through row 9. I repeated row 7 2 more times, and you can see we have our chain 2 spaces all nice and lined up, and you can see how the squares or the blocks are formed in our filet crochet. I just think it's really, really pretty. I think it makes a really nice table runner. And so what we're going to do is we're going to continue to repeat row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, row 9, those 6 rows. We're going to repeat that 4 more times or more if you want an even longer table runner. All right, so repeat row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7, row 8, row 9, 4 more times or more. So I continue to repeat row 4 through row 9 4 more times. Now if your table is longer, you can continue this for as long as you would like to, and I think it's just beautiful. I absolutely love the way that it worked up. Okay, once it is the length that you want, we're going to add just a really simple trim. Once your table runner is the length that you want, and it does not matter whether you ended with this set of rows or this set of rows, it doesn't matter. Just make sure that you end with a nice even set of your chain 3 block sets, because it will look awkward if you stop right in the middle. Okay, but it doesn't matter which set of rows that you stop on. So what we're going to do is at the end of our last row, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to evenly single crochet around the entire table runner. And we'll try to put our stitches in the sides of the stitches so that it looks a lot nicer and neater than putting it in the holes. All right, so we're going to move down the side, stitching evenly single crochets, and then we'll place 3 single crochets in each of the corners. So, working on all 4 sides of your table runner, evenly single crochet, and again, there is not a set amount of stitches. You just want to try to eyeball it and have it look as neat as possible without bunching up your stitches and not having too much space. And the key to looking nice and neat is to try to stitch those stitches in the sides of those double crochet stitches and those chains on the side, so you get a nice even looking edge. All right, so we're going to single crochet all the way around all 4 sides, placing 3 single crochets in the 4 corners. I evenly single crocheted all the way around all 4 sides of my table runner, placing 3 single crochets in the 4 corners. Here's my last corner. I'm going to join to that first single crochet with a slip stitch and chain 3. We're actually going to chain 4 because what we're going to do is we're going to use this open chain 1 space double crochet pattern all the way around the edge of our runner. So we have our chain 4. We're going to skip the next stitch and double crochet in the next. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, and double crochet in the next. And we're going to do this working all the way around all 4 sides of our table runner. And this is just to keep that, like I said, to keep that pattern going and to make it look just a little bit fun and festive, in my opinion. It's nice to have a fun little trim instead of just a couple rows of single crochet. But if you prefer, you can of course just do single crochet. And so what we're doing is we're using this same pattern of chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next, and we're going to work this all the way around all 4 sides of our table runner. So I finished this fun trim around the edge of double crochet, chain one, skip one. And now because we did our row of single crochet, it may not work out exactly even. And that's okay. Just do the best that you can at the end with your double crochet, chain one, join to the third chain with a slip stitch. And we cut our yarn because we're done. And I'm going to grab that and bring that to the back of my work so I can weave that in to the back and have it look nice and neat. There we go. And that's how the corner should look. And I'll grab my needle and weave that in. So my table runner is all finished with this nice trim. And I really, really love the way that it looks. And it's going to look perfect on my coffee table with some of my fall decorations. And remember, you don't have to do this in fall colors. You can do this same table runner in any colors you want for any time of year or home decorations that match. I just really love it, and it's a great pattern for learning how to do filet crochet. Don't be intimidated by it because you can do it.